All right, yo, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. Did you guys jump Long Tendo?
Bro.
I don't know how people,
No.
theories people come up with is crazy.
Bro,
Right?
social media, you guys are not real, bro. They're not
Social
real.
media right now, you don't understand. As soon as one person comments and they see a repetition of the same comment, everyone thinks we did that or we did this. That is not true. No one understands the situation. We're gonna run you down every little detail right now.
Okay,
Because this is the most hot topic right now, and people are really taking this to their advantage, and like it's just getting out of hand now.
Bro, listen.
Yo, go tell them. Go ahead.
Toronto is such a toxic city, man. This is why there's not a lot of people make it out the city. Because as soon as it's a guy, there's people at the top, they're gonna do whatever it takes to bring them down. Now they low-key had an opportunity. This Long incident, it was the dumbest incident. It was such a pure accident, bro. It was a pure accident, but look at how these theories and things it led up to us dumb thinking that we actually hurt him, which is crazy.
Okay, let me get a rundown of the story. Were any of you there?
Yeah. Okay. No, we weren't there.
Okay, none of these guys were present, so they did not jump.
I'll tell you.
No.
I could tell you the POV though that happened. I was with Gigi.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the POV. Do you remember that when we were getting braids?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what happened. All right, look. So let me get into this. All right.
Did
so
you say you're getting brains?
we're getting braids.
Braids.
Braids is crazy.
shit.
You see this? All right. So look, this is what happened. No. This day was the most unrealistic day.
Bro,
in
that
the
day
world.
was already unreal.
Okay,
to
so
start.
we wake up from a previous night of not being too productive, so we were not that happy that day. So we wake up and we're planning to link up and do some work, edit, whatever, me and Gigi, right? So we're on call and we're scrolling through Snapchat stories and then we see that Duke Dennis is in the city.
Yeah.
So we're like, okay, and not only that, he's in Scarborough Town Center. Which is the mall that we interview at the most frequently.
Oh, that's true.
So we're like, all right, we hop on an Uber straight away, we go there.
Yeah.
And then we missed him because we were like 4 hours late. So he left.
That's
And then-
JJ timing.
Yeah. So then we call our braider. We're like, let's order in an Uber. And she pulled up to us to STC, and then she braided our hair individually. And then we're finished. It's like 8 p.m. We're going home. It's me, him, and our manager, right? We go home in front of my house. I'm about to go in. And then we get a FaceTime call from a co-content creator.
No. Not a FaceTime call. We got a regular call.
Regular call.
Let me explain this part.
Continue.
So we get a regular call from our content creator friend who's with Long in downtown.
For hours.
They were there together the whole day. Me and my homies were doing our own thing. Him and Long they were doing their own thing, right? We get a phone call. And then I answer the call. He's like, yo, JJ, come DT right now. And then I'm like, I'm all the way I'm in another city. You know what I'm saying? We're all in the next city, and DT is like 40 minutes away. I'm like, bro, we can't make DT. What are you talking about? Right? He's like, Long got hurt. He fell off a scooter. And then I'm like, okay, he probably just, in my head, I'm thinking he scratched his leg. Because him falling off a scooter, you know, I'm thinking elbow scratch,
Like
leg
they
scratch.
rented out,
So I'm
like
like, yo,
e-scooters, like
I'm
those
like,
e-scooters.
yeah, it was just an e-scooter, right? It only goes 30 kilometers an hour. So the injury couldn't have been that bad. And then I'm like, yo, just take him to the washroom, clean him up, and send him home. You know what I'm saying? Send him back to Guelph. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, nah, bro, it's serious. And then he's like, come on FaceTime. I come on FaceTime. This guy points the camera at Longcheng, bro. His face was leaking. Like his teeth were missing. And then I'm like, no. And then me and my manager were like, nah, we postponed everything and we booked it straight DT.
To make sure he's okay.
To make sure he's okay and shit. So, you know, so we go DT, we get there, you know, I think the ambulance was called and they patch him up and stuff. They kind of clean his face.
just to make sure he's okay. You know, we're not gonna leave the guy just to like suffer like that and like. Because we've been with a guy, like we've built a relationship with this.
No,
this creator.
people really think that we just link up with Longcheng, record some dumb videos, tell him to say some shit that's gonna ruin his life, and then just leave him. Okay, bye. That's not what happens. People don't know the real truth that goes on behind the camera. Longcheng is like a part of our group. Like,
You guys have to understand, this guy takes the train from Guelph all the way to Toronto to make content with us. We're not gonna just
and it's not just
treat him
content.
badly.
After we go out to eat,
exactly.
We go out to eat. We make sure he gets every time. We always make sure he gets home safe. Even when the train stopped running, we called an Uber for him. They don't know these things. We don't even say. We don't have to say these things.
everyone just
No,
sees
we don't like
the
to
joke
say
side.
We don't like to say these things, but it got to a point where we have to address these things now because
Because
now
that's
they're
what I'm
coming
saying.
at us. You know what I'm trying to say?
Because what happened is the day after that, where we went and we made sure he was safe, he was cleaned up, and everything was good. The day after, I wake up and I go on one of our posts. What do I see in the comments? Oh, he got jumped and they stayed and just watched him and they didn't do anything. The group. And then some of the comments are like, they jumped Long Chung. CityBoyJJ and his friends jumped Long Chung. I'm like, huh?
Where does that come from, fam?
Bro, that's the most.
Bro fell off a scooter.
Nah, but it's I understand because what happens online is people try to take anything and misconstrue it into the most dramatic things ever. That could they could like feed off each other in the comments.
And I will say as well, like even if you look at the Vine era, like Walvin the Great, like these nuts and all those guys, there was people taking advantage of like a certain group of people. So I feel like like a lot of us are kind of like triggered by that when we see it. So a lot of people are kind of like looking for any reason to say,
100%.
oh, hey, these guys are taking advantage. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
The thing
like,
is, people love to jump on bandwagons, and especially if it's an opportunity to tear someone down, people just eat that alive, man. They just like to see people just canceled for.
But this happens all the time, right? Like with any video, any answers, numerous times the comments misconstrue shit and trying to paint us as the bad people, whatever. But this time, what we noticed is, for like a whole day, the comments are getting flooded of, oh, we jumped him and shit like that. It keeps increasing, and people, when you read the comments, are fully convinced that we watched him get jumped, or they're fully convinced. And there's tens of thousands of people, right? Yeah. I'm like, okay, we just stay quiet. We don't like to, fall into the degeneracy. Like, it will fade away, we think. The next day, which was yesterday, I was on live on TikTok, right? I go on live on TikTok. I had like 200 viewers. Everyone in the comments is like, yo, why didn't you ride out for Long Chung? Why didn't you do this, that? I'm like, brother, what's going on? I start switching the topic. They're like, oh, look at him. He's switching the topic, this, that. And then I invited this guy to the live stream. I'm like, let's get random people to talk. I invited this guy, and he starts flaming me. He's like, you don't, like, he starts cussing at me. Like, yo, why didn't you ride out? You're taking advantage of this autistic kid, this, that. You're taking advantage. You guys didn't ride out for him, this, that. And then I decide to FaceTime Long Chung. I didn't even tell you guys. I FaceTime Long Chung on the live stream without even telling Long Chung that I'm FaceTiming him. So I FaceTime him, and then he's like, and I asked him subtly, I'm like, yo, did your bike break when you fell off of it? And then he's like, yeah, it broke a little bit, and like I hit my face on the ground. So that should be enough for already confirmation that, like that's the story. I turn back thinking everyone's going to be like, okay, yeah, he didn't get jumped. Everyone's like, they media trained them to say this. They're making them say this shit. I'm like, bro, like, come on, what can I do now? And then that's where I realized, like, okay, it's actually serious. People like are actually not gonna believe nothing. So then this led up to this moment where I told Gigi, and then we just, we
had to hop on the podcast and reveal the truth of what actually happened, man.
Yeah, yo, I did want to ask something because, from my perspective, it's like you guys treat Long Tendo like a normal person, like you would treat any other homie.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I think there's something good in that because obviously, like, he is on the autism spectrum, but it's like you guys are also treating him normal. You're not treating him like there's like
no, we don't even treat him like a kid. We treat him like he's like us. He's a
grown
man.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He's just another content creator that we.
Yeah. You gotta understand. He was doing this before any of us were, and right now he's more popping, and he always has been more popping than any of us in this content.
We just helped him grow and just create more content. With
People don't know this. He has about 450,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's no joke.
That's
no joke. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's solidified in the game.
But I want to ask you guys something because Long Tendo made a post. It was from the Chung family, like the text post. And they were saying, okay, so we want to address something important that's happened recently. As many of you know, Long is a passionate content creator who always brings joy and positivity to his work. Fortunately, he was recently hurt in an accident with content creators who did not have his best interests at heart. Instead of tending to his severe injuries immediately, they chose to record more videos. So, do you feel like you see the perspective of the family? Are you guys in contact with like his family or caregivers? How does that work?
So my manager, our manager, he's in contact with the family, but it's not like crazy contact. So what happened was, I can understand the perspective the family's coming from, but I don't think it's fair for us because they don't understand the perspective we're coming from, which is not fair. And that's why we haven't really fought back, because we do understand and we respect it. Because at the end of the day, it is his family. It's his sister, mother, brother, father, right? But the thing is, to address that situation, it's like we did drive from a next city to see him and make sure he was okay. My manager booked it straight down. We dropped everything we had. And we couldn't take him to the Toronto Emergency Hospital because, bro, the wait there, it would have been insane. He wouldn't have made it back home to Guelph.
There's a certain time for.
There's a certain time. You know how because Canadian healthcare is chopped. So my manager had to call the shots. We made the best decision. The ambulance patched him up. We made sure that the stitches he needed weren't severe. So we asked him, did he need any stitches? Is it urgent? But no, he just busted his lip. They put this little powder thing on it, made sure he was okay. His teeth was loose. I think they put some numbing stuff on it, and then it was okay for him to go home. So we sent him on the train. We made sure he got home safe. He got home to Guelph. He ended up going to the Guelph hospital, and then we're on FaceTime with him at like 4 a.m. Make sure he's okay. He gets checked up. He got home at 10:30 in the morning, and that was at Guelph's hospital. Imagine if he was in Toronto's hospital.
But you would be waiting the next day.
You would be waiting the next day until they checked up on him. So we really called good shots.
And they made sure, like I wasn't there, and I'm also like a part of like the content creation, and I see how they how they took care of it. I think they handled the situation to the best of their abilities, like to make sure, okay, will Long Chung get home on time? Okay, let's clean him up. Let's make sure he's okay. He did get into an accident off an e-scooter that they rented in Toronto, and it was him and another content creator. And then after that happened, they rushed, they got there, they made sure he's okay. We could have been normal people and be like, oh, okay, whatever, leave it.
That's what I'm saying.
But we're not like that.
We're not like
they
that.
made sure I didn't.
Bro, like if we were there and this happened, that he would have been our responsibility.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Then we would have been at fault.
Yeah.
But we weren't even there.
And you still got involved to help him.
Still got involved.
Yeah, of course.
It's because we got involved to help him that we got into all this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We could have been all dickheads and be like, nah, we could have told that content creator, bro, this is your fault. This is your problem.
You deal with
Go
it.
take her. You deal with it.
Yeah.
But
It's your fault that he fell.
And guess what? Guess what else too? They acted and they made that post from a point of emotion, right? Of course. Because they were emotional, which is understandable. You know, your son, your family member gets hurt, and you know he's always out in downtown with these other content creators, you know? But I think it's just very disingenuous for them to just go and just make a post and kind of... Because that post that they made... All due respect, you know, of course, but that post they made actually affected our image because
it did.
With all the comments,
into the rumors.
that fed into the rumors because that made because the post, I'm pretty sure you have it up. It says like, oh, they were like, since he has autism, he wasn't able to understand like social cues. So he thought they like took him in, but in reality they were just using him and shit. So it's kind of, you know, it's a bad portrayal on our image when they don't know what's happening behind the scenes ever, right?
Yeah.
And it's crazy because why didn't they see this the whole time? Why, when an incident like this happens, when he just falls off of a scooter by himself, a whole city away from us, that's when we're to blame?
Yeah.
You know?